Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be doing a review for Anime Week Day 4. This is going to be of the Good Smile Company Figma Max Factory figure number 366, Fate Grand Order Ruler, aka Jeanne d'Arc, which is also the version you see in Fate Apocrypha, which I really am not a big fan of that anime. I thought it was pretty bad. But if I'm being honest, she was like the only thing I liked in that show. I think she's a pretty cool character. She's also in Fate Grand Order, which I have not played. I already sink my money enough into action figures. Can't sink my money into 2D JPEGs of anime women. Can't do that to myself. But this Figma here is re-released. It was released a few years ago, and it's funny. After I watched the show, because I did want to get the Figma of this, and it was sold out, I was telling my friend who also watched the show with me, I wonder if they'll eventually re-release that Figma. Sure enough, like maybe 2 weeks later, they announced the re-release of this, which I think is kind of funny. So glad to finally have this. I got mine from Amiami, and you've been looking at the images of the packaging for a while. I just wanted to ramble here and go through the images of the packaging really quick. Let's go ahead and get this figure out of the box. Here is the figure out of the box. This is the first review of this anime week that you're seeing the rotating base, because those previous figures I filmed, I did not get that base yet, just to give you guys, an idea of what the rest of these reviews are going to look like. They're going to have the rotating base towards the beginning. Anyway, very good figure right now. I don't really have many problems. It hasn't blown me away exceptionally, just yet, but no problems yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at all the accessories, then we'll take a closer look at the figure. Like with any imports figure, especially Figma, this comes with an operation manual. One side shows all the contents it comes with. The other side also shows the accessories, but also shows how to interchange some of the accessories. Basically, how not to damage your figure and how to operate it. Other than that, we get the basics when it comes to the Figma line. We have a Figma baggie, a very generic one, where it has some space where you can actually write the character's name if you wanted to. We also have the adjustable base that has, 2 points of a bend, really 3 points of a bendable neck, as well as a removable, adjustable, more crooked neck piece that should go into the back for different posing, as well as a basic black wrist peg. And these are the unique accessories that come with this figure. A lot of stuff here. It's a little bit hard to see, so let's jump right into those accessories, starting with one of these faces. I don't really remember this face in Fate Apocrypha, but this is the Grand Order version, and some of the art, whenever the character's talking, because there's not really animations, it has different art, kind of like a visual novel. Maybe it has one of those. I don't really know. This is more of a, left-looking, blushing face, and I guess the paint is pretty okay. You can't really pick it up too well on the camera, but there's some red paint apps in the blush marks, and when the eyes are actually printed really nice, especially on the other heads. You do have those nice slanted eyebrows, and there's a little bit of paint going on in there where you can see that, what's going on in the mouth there. The ears are decently sculpted as well. We have the screaming face. This one's looking more straightforward. And again, those eyes are actually really nicely done. I like the variation of color, where there's like a very light blue into a little bit darker, but still pretty light blue. And then you do have the pupils with the much darker blue in there. So, also, I forgot to mention the paint in the teeth separated from the tongue is really good there. I think there might be a tiny bit of excess plastic on the top row of teeth. Other than that, looks pretty good. We have a tree of hands here. Let's refocus. And a lot of Figmas actually come with this, and this is really handy for me to show you how these hands look. I'll have to back up a little bit. I really like these these hand trees. You can pose them on here. You can put even the hands that the figure comes with on here. There's 2 extra spots here. The biggest problem though is because they're popped in here, and they're molded in, or not really molded, but they're shoved in here for such a long period of time. Who knows how long they've been in here like this. These are slanted now. They're not the worst thing in the world. Some are less, some are way more slanted, like this one. I mean, that's fine. They are still all the while functional, and I'm really having trouble focusing up on here. But you can see the inside of the hands with all that really nice silver paint, some of those details. You have these open, sprawled out hands for different posing. Some separation, not really separation, but a lot of nice details of some creases in the thumbs there. And then we do have these pointing fingers, one for each arm, flag holding and sword holding hands, and there's a little bit of like some different armor sculpted in there. Again, the silver on the paint is really sick. And we do have Figma sculpted into that right there. We have her sword, which is nicely detailed. It has really nice silver paint all throughout, basically, into the... this is pretty brittle, so be careful. Throughout the blade, as well as... I guess this would be the hilt. And then you have the handle, which has a really nice royal blue, almost purplish in there. Very light blue pommel with some silver in there as well. Great detailing. I have no complaints there. We also have a sheathed version. As you can see, the way that this is molded, the idea is instead of giving you an open sheath in case you don't want to break your figure, you pop this in here. I guess either side can go in there, and it looks sheathed. So that is really nice. A lot of characters in the Figma line have that. Last but not least, we have the flag pieces, which are gonna be, they're really big, and they're gonna be a little bit hard for me to go over. So what I'm gonna do first is this. Here is an image of what the entire flag looks like with the alternate rolled up piece. So all that, hopefully I didn't break anything, because some of these pieces are fragile, but that's what that looks like rolled up. And then this is what the flag, if I can even get it, looks like it's sprawled out. And I'm just showing you these images because it's going to save me a lot of time instead of you guys just watching the whole thing and me struggling to interchange these parts. And then me potentially breaking something on camera. What I will go over is the finer details on this. All these nice, I guess these are fleur-de-lis. Let me know. I think that's what they're called. Anyway, the really great gold. It is beautiful. I love that coloring in there. It is very nice, shiny, yellow, whatever's going on here. I don't know exactly what this would be called for parts of a flag, but there's some royal blue in there, lined in there. I think if you look close enough, some of that sculpting and paint is a tiny bit sloppy, but it's really not that noticeable. Then there's the pull of the flag, which has some nice black in there. Now we're going to take a look at the rolled up flag piece. It has some really nice wrinkles in here and really good paint as well. You'll get that gold in there, but I mean, that's fine. It's all rolled up. And then you have one hole here, another hole here. The idea is one hole is too loose for you to put it in. So this is too loose right here. That means this is where the flag tip goes. If this is, and you have to be very careful, plop this in here. I like to rotate this into place, and then there's a notch. You'll finally click in there, and that works fine. That's the right way to do it. And this is also very nerve-wracking. This really nice flagpole tip, which has some nice yellow rope on there. Great silver paint, as well as the sculpting in there is beautiful. This peg is very, very brittle. I really don't trust what I'm doing right now. Basically, I have to rotate this all the way in, and even then, I'll just leave it in here sometimes. I'm not going to have this assembled unless I know for a fact this figure is going to be very secure on a base if she's holding this, because I do not want to risk breaking this. I might have to disassemble this and keep it in the bag forever, basically. But that's what that looks like on there. We also have this middle section for the pole that's really meant as the handle. It has some actual metal in here, so that's really cool, as well as some dark blue and silver paint apps, and then the rest of the pole in here, and you have the bottom of the pole, the nice spike with some nice silver sculpting in there. So lots of really, I mean, I wouldn't say a ton of accessories, but the functionality of the flag is the biggest thing about this figure. Okay, hopefully you've been utilizing the chapters function. I've been putting in a lot of my videos lately, so if you wanted to, I wouldn't put it past you if you skipped to this part. I really like the not really neutral, but this is the standard smiling face that the figure comes packaged with. I think it looks really good, and it has very consistent paint apps from the previous faces, especially this green face where it's looking straightforward, nice printing in the eyes, nice printing in the eyebrows, and very slight black paint, but in the crease in the mouth that's sculpted in there, but the paint is still really good. The silver in her, I don't know what part of this would be, like a crown piece, whatever this is, I forget. It looks nice. And the silver paint there, I
think is a very, very minor splotch onto her blonde hair. That's a little disappointing, unfortunately. Yeah, I think in certain angles you really cannot see it, but I think the way my camera's brightness setting is right now, as well as the fact I have these two lights shining around the figure, I can see it. It's a bit disappointing for an $80 to $100 figure like this. We do have really nicely sculpted long flowing hair. We'll get to that in a second, but the rest of the shorter parts of the hair here, we have nice lines sculpted throughout. A little bit of I wouldn't say cowlicks, but spike parts that are separated from the hair. Just to give it, just to bring out the hair a little bit, looking nice. All that nice consistent blonde hair paint. Get down to this really long braid for her, the rest of her hair. And look at that ribbon tied up there. This is a separate swiveled piece. And this piece swivels too, I just realized, so that's cool. This piece, as you can see, not super attractive looking. What I mean by that is it's ugly. That's the nice way I was trying to put it. It swivels here and it breaks up the sculpt. You can maneuver it so it can be posed and dynamically. I wish that this had a swappable hair piece so it just would flow all the way down, because you really can't get it to flow. I mean, you can manipulate it to kind of do that, but it really doesn't. Then you will maybe, I don't know. I don't know what they could have done, but it's not god awful. I made it sound it was god awful, but it really isn't. There's a little bit of, it looks like the paint's a little too thick up here, so the details don't come through as nice. A little bit of seam lines in there. It sounds like I'm nitpicking, but hey, for as much as you're paying for this figure on Amiami, Big Bad Toy Store, Good Smile, Good Smile's actual US website and other places, you should expect really good paint apps. There's something going on right here too. There's a couple minor scuff marks. That's very minor, I mean. Silver paint in the chest is actually really decent, and I can't tell what color's going on here. This like royal blue purplish color. There's a little bit of lighter color in the inner chest compared to the outer chest. These pieces that are draped over the outer chest. A lot of you probably think I'm a pervert right now for talking about the chest pieces, but there's some wrinkles right there. I got pointing it out for the detail. I promise. I'm not sus. Please. Anyway, we do have some silver that is broken up because of that the sculpt right here. Broken up because of that hole in the back, but we do have some silver, I guess, chains for her neck piece and chest piece that's going up here. We have that lighter purple going on into these parts of her outfit. The nice black seams, the trimming, I guess, the lining, which you feel it, and there is some actual sculpting in there. So there is the sculpting's top notch. There's just a lot of different intricate parts that they have put into here, especially with the wrinkles. And then we get down to the actual armor. I really like all the silver parts on here. It's beautifully painted. It's such nice silver paint. Wow, that's really sick. These are the fists that she came packaged with. They look really good. And basically anywhere that has armor on here, we have, and I don't remember how accurate it is if there's black in her actual outfit. I don't have an image. I'm not looking at an image of the figure from Grand Order or Apocrypha right now. But we have mostly black joints in here. Very basic black joints. Which is fine, I guess. There's a black joint hidden in her torso, too. So I'm fine if that's, if that's how they're going to hide whatever color is in there. I don't mind that it's a black joint in the torso that we're never going to see. And these are separate swivel pieces. Yeah, these swivel a little bit. They're separate pieces in the elbows. And they kind of, a lot of the time, these joints, like the elbow joints, especially on Figma, are way too circular and don't fit with the rest of the figure. These kind of do a good job covering that, faking that a bit. Not perfect, but good enough, I think. You have a soft plastic piece here that's actually screwed in here. So when you rotate the ball hinged wrists and you push them outward a little bit, which I can't do right now, but you can see it goes with it a little bit, and then you can push that forward. Well, we'll just go back to normal. Here's the waist. One thing I gotta mention, first of all, really nice paint and sculpt again in the whole waist. I think that's really well done looking. That didn't make any sense what I just said. We have some black soft plastic actually that is, it's all pretty continuous in here. Like, it doesn't look like soft plastic, it looks like hard plastic. And this soft plastic part is for the sheath. And there's some silver on there, a couple of silver notches, some black wrappings, as well as the silver towards the end there. Nice royal blue, purplish color to it. Again, all those nice details in the armor. This really wants to lean over to the left, the entire torso, unfortunately. And I'm going to show you why really quick. When you look in here, this is straightforward. You move it forward. This thing is getting angled this way, and I'm trying to see if this is like loose enough if I can maybe adjust that, and I don't think it is. So I have to go in here, as you can see, again, already looking sus because you have skin tone in there. And I have to like maneuver this ball hinged torso so where it looks like it's standing up straight, because if I do it where it is actually standing up straight, it's going to look like this. In fact, whatever I just did, it's going back to leaning over. So that's annoying. I don't like that at all. I don't know what's going on there. Sometimes Figma's, just standing up straight is not, it's not a thing that they do when they should. These are these separate armor pieces that are articulated, and they actually blend in with the rest of this armor slight skirt piece really well. This one's a little bit hindered because of the sword, the sheath, but not by much. That's good. Now, oh boy, I'm going to show something off, and I need y'all to not think I'm a pervert, because this is the most distracting part to figure as soon as I took it out. Why, one, is her pants, underwear so exposed, and why did they put so much effort into sculpting the underwear?
I saw that! You disgusting pervert! That's absolutely unacceptable!
Okay, I know. I don't look very good right now showing this off, but it's I wouldn't say it's a complaint. This is so weird. It's not really a complaint, but it was really necessary to... First of all, it's a little too distracting. There are a lot of angles where I just see it, and I'm not really digging it. I don't want to sound like some kind of white knight or whatever. It's just too distracting. That's not how it... I should be focusing on the underwear when I'm looking at the figure overall. This skirt piece needs to go even lower. I've tried to push the waist up more. And I commend, I should say, y'all's commitment to... making this as well detailed as possible, but at the same time, y'all a little weird over it. Good smile. But I'm done talking about it. That's just something I have to bring up real quick. A lot of you are just like, oh god, this guy's a pervert. Great. Let's see. I didn't sculpt that, alright? Let's get that out of the way. I'm only pointing it out. I think it's a little weird, like I said. We do have the flesh tone and the legs, and we do have the separation here for the, I guess the stockings would be. And it's pretty much symmetrical on the other side. And then the rest of the skirt pieces. These are a softer plastic piece. I wish these would rotate. I tried to rotate these forward to cover that, but these are, I think, stuck in there. This piece, though, does have a hinge. So this hinges here so it can move out, and then these would kind of move out too. So if you're doing dynamic poses, that's kind of sick. It swivels here too, which we'll get to articulation in a second. But we have a lot of nice wrinkles going on there. Dark purple trimming with the rest of the light purple there. I need to move on because we're getting to like 10 minutes with me looking at the details. There's not much detail going on here. It's just a smooth sculpt with the legs. So let's move on to the shins and the feet, which have some really nice silver paint and nice, really, whatever these symbols are, they're really nicely detailed and painted. And we do have some sculpted silver pieces on top of the purple shoes.
Figma figures usually have really good articulation, although some of it's a little stiff. It does have that neck system where it goes up. There's a little bit of a ball joint, and there's a hinge, and then it actually has a peg going into the neck. It allows for, the hair gets in the way, but it can slightly go up and then down. Swiveling, it also allows for a little bit of tilting. I mentioned this hinges and swivels at different areas, so you can make this go a little bit around, but all this stuff here doesn't really work all that well, just because it's a little bit hindered based on the sculpt. We do have these arms that actually go out like that. You can maneuver around a little bit. There's a little bit of space in there. There's just a ball socket. It moves around a little bit. It can go all the way around. Squeaks a little bit. It has an upper arm swivel here. Going into the upper arm, pretty much each end of this single joint here, there's a little bit of rotation, but not that much. Same with the forearm. The single joint elbow gets a really good bend there. The ball hinged wrists that can go in and out, and then you can swivel them to make it go up and down. I'm not doing a great job of it right now, but you can swivel it to make it go up and down. Ball jointed waist that has a hinge in there. I mentioned
It was pretty stiff, so it can go all the way around and swivels a little bit of forward and back motion. Legs have a slight upper thigh swivel. This leg, since it's more exposed, it gets a little bit better motion, but it doesn't want to kick out that much. And then kicking it outward like this is not really all that great because the skirt piece. This piece moves, like I mentioned, maybe a little bit of a ball joint, swivel and ball joint here at the back of her skirt. Upper thigh swivel here, single joint knee, maybe a little bit of rotations at each end here, but not by much. Swivel here at the ankle. It's really hindered by this piece here that's outward with the sculpt, but it can swivel up and down. The down's okay, the up's not great though. It does have a bit of an ankle rocker.
For size comparisons, over on the far left and right, you can see just how tall the imports figures are. Next to domestic 6-inch figures like Marvel Legends, Star Wars: The Black Series. Right next to Jeanne on the right, that is the Figma 2.0 Saber. And Jeanne's going to be a little bit taller than her. Right next to her on the left is going to be the SH Figuarts Jujutsu Kaisen Nobara Kugisaki, which Figma and SH Figuarts don't really scale at all together. Figma are usually shorter, but Nobara is pretty short, I guess, as a character. So she is struggling to, tower over Jeanne d'Arc here. So a very long review, longer than I wanted to, and also a little bit out of pocket at some points. I do apologize, but this is a pretty nice figure. There's a couple of minor issues with my particular figure, but I cannot deny most of the paint apps, especially in the silver armor pieces, are really good. The rest of her outfit with the purples are really sick too. I'm not the biggest fan of the hair system. I wish they gave us some alternate choices for the hair. I think the faces are fine. The alternate hands are also really good. And the flag system, while it's a little convoluted and a little delicate, I think it's really cool that you can make two different things out of it. Holding it two-handed can be a bit of a struggle sometimes because it can be kind of top-heavy, but it is, when it works, The swords are fine too. Overall, this is a really nice Figma. I don't remember the exact price. I got mine from Amiami, so it's going to be a little bit cheaper, even with that, $20 to $23 shipping from DHL that I had to do. It's still a pretty good price compared to, say, Big Bad Toy Store and Good Smiles US website. I'll leave links down in the description below if you need to get this figure, though. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.